What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Bands the Clover, and I'm here once again with my right hand, Captain Nika. And today is not a spoiler week. I know it's been a little bit of a, I guess you could say, turmoil with the scheduling and with just the leakers and et cetera, et cetera. But nonetheless, we do have someone here that we do want to introduce to you guys for the future, continue going forward. It's not going to be just a two-man show, continue going forward. We're introducing a new person into this. You guys will most likely recognize if you guys have been here long enough. But nonetheless, we'll bring her up right now. Um, it is Slv7n.
What's up, guys? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Hey. Got creative and made re-silhouette it.
Yeah.
Did a face reveal.
We should have did a silhouette like an emu. We could have made you emu, and then boom, big silhouette. It would have been tough.
That would have been tight.
That way, just boom.
But yeah. So since today is not a traditional, spoiler week, we're not going to go over spoilers and brief spoilers, etc., etc. We're going to do this a little bit differently, continue going forward, because we've been trying to cook up some sort of consistency plan as far as Wednesdays, because we just don't want to leave you guys just on a Wednesday empty with nothing. So specifically like today, like one of these days, today we're going to just handle more of predictions, more of theories, just more of a discussion-based type of video. Just so that we could, keep everybody still in their creative juices and just keep us, like, I guess you could say, our attention still on tack. Because there's a lot, especially these last two chapters, that has been happening. And I feel like there's a lot that we need to discuss, I guess you could say, for the most part. Specifically, what I do want to start off with, if you guys want to start it off, discussing essentially, is how do we feel specifically with just omens in general? Oh, you gotta raise up your volume again.
You started at a hot topic off rip.
Yeah, I felt like it would be better to start like that.
Okay, shoot. Slev, do you have any thoughts on the Omen so far? You're the guest here.
Well, my thoughts on the Omen, to be frank, honestly, it's a bit refreshing to see something different, as opposed to just straight haki or like a devil fruit power. Okay, it's a form of haki, maybe, but it's not straight like a devil fruit power, so to speak. We don't know for sure, you know what I mean? But it's kind of refreshing to see something different as opposed to fire, straight, or ice, or regular powers.
I want to say something. It kind of feels weird. Like, it feels like a mix. Like, you get the devil fruit aspect, then you get the hockey aspect from it. Like, it's like when they say Omen is like demonic aura, like it kind of feels like it makes sense, because we don't have an actual dark side to what we know is hockey, or they never actually introduced a dark side or other side of it. So this feels like that's what it is for me. If people are keeping up with translations, Omen is also being called Maki, because it translates to the word Maki, and the MA is for basically the demonic aura part. That's where they're getting that from. While hockey is something completely, it has something, it's like it, but it's basically like the positive side. That's what it seems like. Like, it seems like the whole Jedi Sith vibe.
Wait, Kezi, can you try to adjust your volume a little bit higher? Yeah, I feel like it's like I guess you could say blocking all the audio. Like, it just sounds real muffled and low.
Sound real muffled and low?
No, now you sound good.
Okay.
But what did you not hear, I guess?
No, I heard it all. I just wanted to make sure. I think it was on my end. I had you guys low. My fault.
Okay, wait, hold up. I think there's a little slight echo, but you guys can keep on talking. Let me just try to adjust it for right now. Let me see. Should be fine, unless it's on my end. No, I don't think it's any problem.
Is there an echo?
Yeah, it's a little slight echo. I could hear in the back end.
Oh
Um,
dang, I don't even know what to tell you on this.
but it's fine. I don't think it's that big of a problem. I think they will probably let us know if it is. But nonetheless, so with the Omen conversation, like you said, Slev, you said it's like kind of a refreshing feeling that we're adding something new, I guess, to the table. What I wanted to ask a little bit along the lines of that was, do you believe that Omen specifically is only entitled to Emu, or is this something that, Luffy might be able to recreate in his own way?
I honestly, I honestly think with Emu and the powers that they possess has to be something along the lines with like it's gonna sound kind of wild, but some type of like Lunarian type of like power in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
But nah, I don't think I saw some like theories out there that they were stating that Emu might be like the shadow version of Luffy, of Joy Boy or whatever. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think they'll correlate. I don't know. I don't think so though. I think it's a stretch.
Hmm.
Like
Okay.
prove me, hey, prove me wrong.
That's not bad. I mean, thing to say, but I was just to put it out there. I just wanted to know your guys' thoughts on it. For me specifically, how I interpret it, it's more of like, I don't know if it's like maybe just headcanon for me, like I'm just like thinking in just my own way. But I think the Omen specifically is just like a complete, I guess you could say maybe a one-on-one connection with like the true hockey. Maybe Omen is actually like the legitimate essence of it, but it's just like kind of twisted into that demonic type of slate. Because like I think I don't know. I guess like, you could say the theme of it. I've always been curious ever since I started watching One Piece and reading it. Like the whole color of the Supreme King statement. That's just always been like a weird, specific statement because like we've always had this, hockey, armament, observation, conquerors. Like we get all these like type of like I guess you could say titles to these type of abilities. But whenever they speak, like especially when they go against like Luffy goes against Katakuri, we get this whole Conquerors Hockey clash, but then we hear, Color of the Supreme King, Color of the Supreme King, and then we see Joy Boy and Luffy states it out loud. So it's like, I'm sorry, I'm starting to like think like maybe this Omen, maybe this Maki, maybe it kind of just derives to like the original like founding hockey. You get what I'm saying? I don't want to make it steer like some sort of like I don't want to steer down like that Naruto path because you know how like we kind of find out like chakra wasn't really a thing until like the original two kind of like not created it but kind of started it. So it's making me feel like maybe like a Davy, a Joy Boy, Emu, maybe those three were like maybe prior to that it was like only devil fruits, or maybe prior to that it was only the mother flame, or prior to that it was only this. Then hockey just kind of just start to build up type thing. That's why I was just like alluding to a little bit.
I feel you. I feel it.
Yeah. So, do you guys think? I don't want to go down too much of a rabbit hole of that, like especially with agendas. But do you guys think that along the lines of right now? I know it's very early to say. Are you guys like so far happy with Emu? Are you guys like saying like maybe this isn't a good first appearance? Maybe this isn't a good first case showing of strength. Whoever wants to answer.
I'm gonna let Nika go first.
No, I'm satisfied with Emu so far. Everything Emu's been doing. That's what I expect for top boss to pull up and be doing. So far so good for me. I know, like I don't know how a lot of people are feeling when Slev said what she said about the Lunarian thing.
Hmm.
I think she nailed it on the head because Lunarians also walk around with conjured flames, and I've been saying that flames have been like a manifestation of Conqueror's hockey in a way because we see a lot of the times Conqueror's hockey is used, or especially lately when flames are being used, we see Conqueror's hockey. When
Yeah.
we see lightning, we get the black lightning effect or just a regular lightning effect, depending on the time period of Oda drawing it in the story. Point is, we've been seeing it so on and so on. So I feel like it's at this point just following narrative patterns and like just context. It all that she nailed it on the head right there. I think they're whatever's going on. That's why it's damn near depicted. The depiction almost looks like a Lunarian. Don't know if Emu is a Lunarian or anything like that, but I do think the powers have some type of reflection in parallel with Lunarians. Because if you look at it, even when Lunarians have watch it. When Lunarians have the flame on their back, they're stronger. They're able to survive in whatever terrain and environment. And flames seem to be very, very, very like they're treated like a primordial source in One Piece. Vegapunk even uses the flames to use for the heating systems and all that type of stuff. And the flames just matter a lot. Look at the mother flame in itself. So we get flames and all the things that they can do. Otis played with green flames, blue flames, red flames, black flames, pink flames. We've seen all types of fire in One Piece so far. So it's all a Sabo upscale. So, gotta throw that in there since we're talking about fire.
And how do you feel, Slav?
Okay, so as far as the appearance, like how they look or whatever, they look fly.
Mm-hmm.
I was confused though because where that crown go? What's the crown? What's that about?
Yeah,
You feel me? Because during the flashback of 1181, or the quick little flashback, you saw the Joy Boy and then you saw Mew, but they ain't have that crown. So I don't know. I'm like, what happened to that crown? Why you don't got that crown on? Like I'm just like confused about the appearance. It's fly. I'm just confused about the appearance. But I'm trying to not trying to be as long-winded. Because as far as like Emu showing up in Elbaf in the hole, right? I was watching one of your old videos a couple hours ago, Bands, where you was like, you was talking about how fast we got here as far as Elbaf. I'm saying like we got here kind of quick. And it's like, yeah, we actually did get here really quick. Like we got to Elbaf, we linked up with Loki, we got a couple flashbacks, we got a mural, you feel me? And we didn't get a chance to dissect that for real. You know what I'm saying? As a straw hat in a hole, I feel like the straw hats didn't. They looked at it. Frankie and I think it was Frankie and Robin that had looked at it. If I'm correct.
Yep.
They looked at it. They evaluated it for a little bit, but like they didn't get a chance to like kind of break it down. Or other straw hats didn't get a chance to look at it as well. And yes, we got a story of some ancient giants. Harold and Loki. We got a story about them. But did we get some Elbaf lore for real? Did we get the giant lore for real? You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm jumping. I don't know if we're talking about 1182 yet.
No, not yet.
Never mind. Let me not get there yet.
I mean, you could if you want to. This is spoilers. So
okay,
ain't nothing wrong with it if you want to get into that bag.
Real quick about like just what I think may happen in 1182. Yeah, okay. Emu and Luffy might clash a little bit, but what I feel like is going to happen, there are two things that I feel like is going to happen actually. One, Emu may like, and it's going to sound weird to say because they're almighty, they're all powerful, but they might have reached their limit and have to go back to Marie-Joie. It's like, yo, I gotta get back. Or because the fight might be there. The ultimate fight might be there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or, Emu's going to be popping off at the side of his mouth, saying some stuff to Luffy, which is going to cause Luffy to either think or either stop the fight here and there. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just have a little bit of theories when it comes to Emu and Luffy fighting, but I don't think that's going to be the end all of it all because I feel like there's going to be like a pause in their fight. Emu's either going to leave or possibly leave, and that's where we're going to get a little bit of more Elbaf lore, giant lore, and maybe Luffy might learn something that'll help him to his next. Because when he fought Kaido, he fought him like 5 times. You know what I'm saying? And the first time he lost, he had to go through a training period in the jail, and he didn't even know how to properly even use that power that he was trying to hit him without hitting him. I forget what it was. It was
Rio.
Yeah. So maybe he might learn something in Elbaf post the Emu fight, and he'll probably like fight Emu again, or I don't know. Yeah.
Nah, for wait, hold up before Kezi. So I do see your question, Sheila. I just want to let everybody know, just like what we do on the usual for every Wednesday. I will be reading comments. I see everybody commenting here. I appreciate it. I like it. I like these questions. Sheila, I will answer your question. I just do want to ask one quick question to Slevin before I answer that one, because that one's very in depth, and I do have an answer for you, Sheila. But as far as emu, Slevin, are you going down that path that this is like a hybrid full zone, and then like the silhouette itself is more of like, okay, this is the normal body? Yeah. Oh, you're muted.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think this is like a hybrid version of Emu, and
Hmm.
with the crown is like their actual human whatever version
Yeah.
they are, you know. I
Okay.
do think though, I have a theory that he might have some type of a lineage to like ancient Lunarian type of thing. I don't know, but
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking along the same as you, because I don't want to say it like, because it sounds agenda. I still think emu is a woman. That's a little bit biased behind it. Um, but I
I'm so
still,
mad, yo. I'm so mad because I'm like, yo, it looked like a female, but everybody
yeah.
like he. So I'm just jumping on the bandwagon. But yeah, I feel like Emu's a female as well.
So I'm going to read this question from Sheila. She said, Ban's question: what type of boost do you think Omen grants to Holy Knights? Better regeneration or more power? If Summers can survive Loki/Luffy's attacks, then what more can Omen give them? LOL. Personally, for me, I definitely believe that I guess you could say the Omen itself, I still think there's like an original power source, but Omen might just be the name of it, like drawing from it. I think that the power is essentially of a combination of both. Because I think that's the biggest caveat, or I guess you could say the hacks, when it comes to the Holy Knights. Because I don't. There's a lot of statements that I like to read back and forth where it's like, okay, what could be the bigger advantage for when it comes to the Holy Knights? Because like I've said multiple times, I think there's a hierarchy with the world government. Um, and Akainu, he has all the statements in the world from Oda. Like, yo, he got the crazy attack potency. So it's like, what can we give to the Holy Knights as far as their connection to Emo? And so what I think it is, for to answer your question, is I think it's more of regeneration and more power. And I think due to the regeneration, I think it's a little bit, I think it will be overall a little bit harder for the crew itself if there comes to be a time where, hey, we need to get our one-on-ones in place and we fight. We'll see things not just dragged out, but more of a durability feat. And it will kind of just put the Straw Hats at a higher pinnacle when it comes to overall crews, because let's say the regeneration is even higher, and that means their durability is up there. If a Sanji, if a Zoro, if a Nami, if a Jinbei, if they could actually penetrate and really get to their heart, like we just saw just now, I just think that's just more of an upscale later on to the line. And then as far as power, when I say power, I don't mean like, hey, the same type of attacks that they're going to do is just, it's just a little bit stronger, or like a little bit of a buff. I actually think that they're going to get some capabilities or same abilities that Emo has, just applied to them. So I think it's going to be like some sort of like upside down, like Holy Knights, like what we're seeing right now. Like, not trying to make it Stranger Things type of thing, but it's like we kind of see them in their normal mood or their mode, and then now that they have these omens and everything attached to them, it's like, okay, they're a little bit more like aggressive, a little bit more careless, a little bit more reckless, a little bit more attack heavy type people, like where they could just keep on going. They don't care because they can regenerate. Um, but as far as that, what you guys think? You guys think the omen does any type of boost, regeneration, power?
Definitely.
Okay.
I
What
definitely
about
think
you?
that's the main cause of it. I think it grants them some type of immortality as well, and it has some type of tie towards like that covenant thing that they have on their arm towards emu and stuff like that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but
Mm,
I was gonna chime in there. Yeah, I think the Omen is all of that. I think it's the buff, the regen, it's just all of that. So to answer Sheila's question, I think it's all of that. Everything you said in the latter, all of that, everything. I don't think nothing's missed out. I actually think they'll be able to use it, and we've already seen that done. Shout outs to Shamrock once again. Shamrock upscale. He pulled up, and Cerberez was literally coated in the Omen. When swords were coming out of Cerberez's mouth, they had black flames all over them. There was black flames at Shamrock's feet. So I don't do all this hyping for Shamrock for nothing, man. Your boy is already, out of all the holy knights, he is using and manipulating the Omen. Before Emu got here and did it, we saw it with Shamrock. Just gonna say that, and I expect that from the captain of the holy knights. I think Son is like that. You know what I mean? I've been on this. I've been saying this for a while. A lot of people there's been a fake bandwagon train for Shamrock. A lot of people acting like thought Shamrock was like that, but no. I just was telling people this in a group chat where they kept telling me they thought this, that, and third highly of Shamrock. I'm like, yo, people in this chat were downplaying Shamrock. And granted, I'm okay with anyone thinking what they want to think, but I don't think he's going to fraud out this guy. If he wanted to, he would have gave him the same hair color of his father, maybe, but he didn't. He gave him red hair. Just think about that. You know what I'm saying? These twins is twinning. You feel me? Dante and Virgil are like that. You know what I mean? Just remember that. Even in Demon Slayer, both the brothers are like that. It took three of them to defeat the other brother. It always makes sense. But that's just me, man. I don't want to keep dragging out the hype train for Shamrock, but choo, all aboard. Like, it's just looking like that.
So do you think Emu personally, I guess you could say, like, maybe there's like a stepping order, and like he views Shamrock as like, yo, this is like one of my ride or die loyal servants. Let me bestow upon you like one of these like made weapons.
Possibly, and that's probably what we get from the whole Griffin and Cerberez type of vibe. Because I do have my speculations about Griffin and what type of sword it may be. But for Cerberez, at least, I definitely think, especially because we see it with the black ring, smoke ring, and we don't know if that's attributed to the sword just being an awakened Zoan or an awakened mythical Zoan within the blade, or if we're saying like, hey, maybe that is something of the abyss or the Omen, whatever people want to go with. I just think he's like that, and I think he's gonna be able, like, as far as like. So watch this. Summers and everybody probably have the Omen and all this in the third, and like you were saying, they're careless with it. This, that, and the third. I don't think Shamrock is ever like that. I think at all times he's on his P's and Q's. And the Omen necessarily is just going to be a buff to everything that they can do already. They're going to manipulate it in the same way we see with haki. That's why you still see the no-touch effect with Emu and Loki, because it's there. He's still using it as if it was Conqueror's haki, but he's just not using haki. He's not using haki. He's using pure Omen, Maki. You know what I mean? So that's how I think about it.
So
I
do
don't know
you
if that answers
think?
your question?
No, it does. So do you think? Don't want to go too crazy with the theory. So do you think then potentially with Garland, maybe it's before or maybe it's after he, fills in the spot in the Five Elders? Do you think the whole, I guess you could say, the Fenrir theme fully follows up now?
Oh yeah, I've been on that train. Yeah, definitely. It fully follows up to me. I gotta figure out that mythology name. I gotta figure out what that mythology was. But in that mythology, the god created a wolf deity, and that wolf deity had two children. You get what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that wolf deity's two children turned against the wolf and the god. You get
Yeah.
me? And that sounds like Shanks is going to influence Shamrock, and they're going to come together and try to dethrone that pops and his bullshit, and along with Emu. It sounds like that, but hey, right now they're Skull and Hati. One chased the sun, the other chased the moon. One's setting up the generation for Luffy, the other one's chasing right at the run. The other one's following his own father's footsteps. So I don't know, man. It's a whole lot going on with this. But I think these boys is like that, and people don't even peep. Garling was manipulating the same ability at God Valley. If you look at one of those panels, Rom had pointed it out to me, but if you look at one of those panels, you see like the black abyss type of stuff flowing on Garling's sword, but it's dripping and it's hard to tell, but it's there. You just gotta look. It's the scene right before he stabs Rocks in the throat. That scene right there. If you know the panel bands, if you got the panel,
Let me see if
you
I can
can
try
pull
to
up and
find it.
show it. If not, you leave it alone. But I promise you, that
Nah,
shit was
let me see if I can
hilarious.
try to find it. Or actually, Rom is in here. I know he could just send it to me.
I
But
was gonna
Slevin, you wanted to say something?
I was gonna ask y'all, like, yo, do y'all think that Shanks and Shamrock are gonna link up again and do some
Yeah, I
crazy
do.
stuff?
I
I
do,
think so
because
as well.
bro don't give me no hate vibes towards his brother.
Right?
Shanks ain't never talked down on him, and we didn't even know that he had a brother. And then
Right,
Shamrock, he don't
exactly.
he didn't even, when Loki was talking what he was talking, it looked like he tagged Loki for like just talking on them. Period. Why you talking on the redhead twins like that? Like you don't come for us. Period. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because Loki threatened Shanks and he threatened Shamrock while talking to Shamrock. He said, now there's basically two brothers that have to like feel my wrath or some shit like that, or or that are going after now because one's a then he would say, oh, one's a great pirate and a celestial dragon. Yeah, that's just two. Like now it's two of y'all I gotta worry about. So like, okay, so you after me and my broski? All right, so how about this? I'm gonna impale the shit out you, and if you can survive, we could probably have a conversation. Other than that, stay tied to that damn tree. That's what he told him. So, hey,
Yeah, I definitely could agree on that. I think because I know people want to crown me the Shanks fan. Um, I definitely agree with what you guys are saying. I don't think there's any animosity between the two. I do think though, I don't want to say in a backdoor sense, but I do think that Garland himself, maybe, and maybe I get this, his attention is kind of wrong. I think from the flashbacks that we get of him, especially how lovey-dovey he kind of seems, I think he's kind of more of like family first. And so maybe that might not, trickle down to his two kids, but I definitely see maybe a potential, not as, easy and one dimensional. I might make it sound, but there might be a moment if Shanks is still alive, because I know people have been telling me for years Blackbeard is going to kill him. I don't know when, but if there is a final war and push comes to shove, and Shanks has to be put in front of Shamrock, I don't think they'll fight. I think they'll actually team up. I actually believe, in like the back of my mind, this is super headcanon. I actually think the whole point of Shamrock is so that Shanks could infiltrate into the world government, just not be there. And it makes the most sense to me because he's his twin. So I feel like it's like, hey, you kind of tell me what's going on in the pirate world. I kind of tell you what's going on in the world government world. They kind of like, you know what I mean? Because from what I'm seeing from like panels of them growing up, I guess the vague amount, there really isn't any reason to really hate on each other. I mean, the most you could maybe say is the fact that he left the Holy Knights and didn't like, continue going through with it. But I don't think that's anything that's like that big and detrimental where it's like, yo, we can't be brothers anymore. You know what I mean? Because it's different from just being friends. So in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, maybe they really are like, because Shanks gets all the information in the world. I don't know what it is. It's like he has his own personal Morgans with him. It's like, bro, how are you getting all this info? And it's like, to me, it's like making me feel like, yo, Shamrock might be feeding him stuff, and vice
yeah,
versa.
until we get a fundamental hint on how Shanks knew where to go track down the Hito no Mi from
Hmm.
Who's Who in the world government ship, I still think his brother gave him that information. So I just don't know how
For
to
sure.
narratively fit it in there all the way, because he has to be on some crazy incognito shit, because at the end of the day he's still committing atrocities under the name of the world government. So Shamrock, there's no redeeming, there's no redemption. So, you know what I'm saying? If he's really still doing all the bad, but he's still trying to find that fine line and do the good. Because remember, the whole games thing on Elbaf, that was Shamrock's idea. So he knows who Summers is and how he can be, and he enabled him. You know what I'm saying? So you got to think about stuff like that. Even as much as I like the guy, I don't mean he's any good. I like him because of the antagonist he is. I think
Yep.
he fits the bill of a stoic antagonist, which we don't have in One Piece. The closest we have to that is a Rob Lucci, and he doesn't give off the vibes we want. We want someone like Rob Lucci on a higher stature. Like once upon a time, you were a threat to Luffy. You're not one. You're not that anymore. So when Shamrock says the result will be the same, it gives more gusto. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely need it to be We need a character that has that type of power level, but at the same time is like, I'm a bad guy. We don't want everybody good, and we don't need evil Shanks, so we just gave a Shamrock. You know what I mean? I fully think that's where it's at. I think if Shanks is to convince him, or if there is some ploy going on, then it has to do with Dragon, and it also has to do with the truth of Shanks's mom. So they would have to know the truth of like how their mother died, because then maybe that brings light to Shamrock. Who knows? There's something got to be there for him to just. He's not gonna just be cool with his brother like that. There got to be something there where there's connecting and making it happen to where he's cool with his brother like that. Because otherwise, he should just be his father's son.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's gonna have some nuances in the future. I'm just keeping my eyes open.
Yeah, that's the thing with, vague piece. When we get into those little moments where everything's very vague, it's like, okay, we got to really get a little bit more confirmation as far as just like the character's true behavior. Because I feel like there's a lot. To me, maybe I'm different with this. People keep on telling me Blackbeard is an evil person. I still think there's a reason behind all of that. It could be potentially his father got killed and he grew up like this. Maybe Eris was like, yo, when you grow up, go find this, and this, and then get back. I don't think there's like a true, absolute, like, evilness that's just brewing in him. He might move like it, but I don't really think so.
I think
you think so?
Opposite. Yeah, I think Horty Jones was paralleled in Fishman Island for that reason. When the brother was like, "Yo, why are you like this? What is your reason? Like, what did they do to you, bro?
Yeah,
what happened?" Son was like, "I just hate them niggas, bro. Like, I just hate them. Like, fuck them." He was on some different type of kick. It was hate to hate. And Blackbeard has a reason, and I still feel like Blackbeard, even knowing his father's plan in his head, he like, man, rest in peace, pops. But I'm doing this shit for me, nigga. Like this is me. Like I really feel that way. Like he get it, family lineage, hold it down for sure. But this is me right now. Like what? No, I'm doing this for me. Like at the end of the day, I wanted Whitebeards. I ain't had to kill pops. I did it though. I like that fruit. I did it. Shout out to the Jehovah's Witness. We was just talking about it. He said the same thing. Echoes the same sentiments I said before. Getting Whitebeard's fruit was probably in the plan with Rocks. That's why Rocks recruited and went after him in the first place.
Yeah.
And he like, I can't get Whitebeard. Look at Whitebeard. He's stubborn. I can't get him to be on my side. So I'm gonna just take what that nigga got. And that's what he did. He took everything. Took his territory. Took his man, took his ability, took his sons off the map. You know what I mean? He took it all. So I don't know. I think Blackbeard is just. I think he's doing this because he got a reason to. But even with the whole Davy stuff, he's Marshall D. If you asked him, he gonna tell you he's Marshall D. Teach. You don't know nothing about no Davy. He respects to the Davies, but I'm Marshall D. Teach. Like if that's his mother's name, whatever name hidden, he claiming that. Like that's what he trying to do for her. I'm trying to claim that. You know what I'm saying?
Before you go, Slv, I do want to ask you a question. I have to read these. Shout out to our captain, Captain, Straw Hat Ree, for donating $9. He says, "I'm not up there to say it, but I just want everyone to remember this one thing. Nami's like that." In all caps, by the way. She has Monster Trio level AP in all 3 forms of haki. Hashtag Zunami, hashtag Nami Upscale, hashtag the Straw Hat Pod. And then after that, shout out to Ram for donating. He says, "Ree, I respect your dedication to Nami, but Dragon top 1, the only Monkey D in his prime, the world's worst criminal, the Insurgent Serpent, my goat," in all caps.
I like that, the Insurgent Serpent.
So a lot of fan bases are clashing right now. Jeez, I didn't even the Nami and Dragon fight. This is crazy. After I asked this question, you guys, the one that are commenting, because I'm seeing a lot of these comments, and these are definitely a lot of good discussions. I see you, Neon. I like these Shanks talk pieces and Dizzy. I got you. I see you, Dizzy. I like what you're saying. You are spitting for sure. Don't get that misconstrued. But back to what I was going to ask. So based on 1182 for like, as far as predictions, do you think in any sort of world, would it be far-fetched to say that if Luffy does join the fight after he's done being full, right? Let's say it's like a tag team match. Yeah, Loki, let me tag in for Luffy, get your little rest. Do you think there's any sort of way where, I guess I don't want to say tease, but you think Oda might, in like a smart, clever way, might not make him fight, but more of like a way of like, let's see Emu get pissed off because he's seeing Joy Boy again, and then Luffy like is the whole time in Gear 5. He's like, "Yo, who's this Joy Boy? You guys keep on calling me. Like, why are you screaming at me? I'm not even Joy Boy. What did I do to get you mad?" And then Emu was just like kind of like suppressed in his like own emotions, like rage baiting himself because he's seeing Gear 5 again. Do you think that's like what's gonna happen, or do you think they're gonna like full-fledged fight? Gatlin after Gatlin versus Omen. Like, what do you think is gonna happen with that?
I don't know. I think it's close to that. I feel okay. Let me get my stuff together. So with with Emu, right? It's like we have to remember, like, damn, yo, this is what we've been waiting for mad long. Like we've been waiting for this shit. So we don't have all the information yet when it comes to the whole Joy Boy and Emu and even David D. Jones or whatever. We don't have all of that yet. So I don't think we're gonna get a full on fight. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I think we might get a little bit, maybe, but I think Emu's gonna be talking out of his mouth, like I said, and Luffy's gonna be like, "What are you talking about? Like, what is going on with you? Who is this Joy Boy you talking about? Like, what do you like?" Emu's gonna cause some type of dialogue, because I think what Emu is seeing is like, I think he's seeing Luffy as a hypocrite in a way. He's seeing him like, oh, for instance, in the beginning of the chapters, there's this quote that's been bothering me, which is that, "Isn't that right?" Both of them had that "isn't that right" quote. Loki had it and Emu had it. And when Loki had the "isn't that right" quote, he was referring back to his pops, talking about, oh, the only thing that matters is, the continuation of Elbaf's future, right? Isn't that right? He's like thinking like, isn't that right, Dad? Like, and then with Emu, I feel like I probably may have misread it initially when he was thinking that as well. Isn't that right? Like the world thrives or is happy under dominion. Isn't that right? And then he said, "Joy Boy, like, isn't that right, Joy Boy? Didn't you say that? Isn't that right?"
Good catch.
That is a good catch.
So I feel like they're gonna have some type of dialogue where Luffy's gonna be like, "Yo, what are you on, bro? What's going on?" Like, and they may not fight, or like I said, Emu may be running out of time and he has to go back, or she has to go back to Mary Joie.
That's interesting. I didn't really keep that.
Yeah.
So do you think, if you're stating that, then do you think it's an obvious thing to say that maybe Joy Boy was as dense as Luffy?
In a way, because what I feel like what they do is like, every time I watch Luffy like visit another island, I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna fuck this island up. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, so he still liberates the island, or he still, defeats whatever, warmonger that's there. He still wreaks havoc doing that. So in a way, yes, like Luffy and Joy Boy may have similarities when it comes to those type of things, but when it comes to I feel like with Joy Boy, he kind of a little bit was more extreme with it. You know what I'm saying? Like he was more aggressive, but he was still happy with it. He still helped people be liberated or whatever, but he was more aggressive and more dominating certain things and causing destructions while liberating people. That's why I feel like, Emu was like, isn't that right, Joy Boy? And he's taking it way more than Joy Boy ever did. So I don't know.
Okay. I do want to ask another question. So Nika, do you believe, because I'm gonna call you Master Sky Splitter. Do you believe we get a sky split between Luffy and Emu this next chapter?
No, because I think Oda's just gonna make another. I think not to be repetitive, or redundant, but I think Emu. I think Loki, not Loki. Yeah, I think Loki holds it down for a little longer because I still think he goes into hybrid before he should. Before I think what Emu's gonna do is show that Loki could go into hybrid and it's still not gonna be enough.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what's gonna happen alternatively is that Luffy's gonna pull up near the end, kind of how Loki pulled up after Emu was dismantling everybody else. So now we get Loki doing it, and then Luffy's gonna pull up and probably Loki's not gonna be completely dismantled, but it's gonna be evident that he's not enough. And then probably by the time Luffy gets there at the beginning of their clash, like the next chapter, the beginning of their clash is gonna. I think it's gonna start to pack up. Something's going to happen to make this have to wrap up a little bit. Either Summers finish proceeding with the plan or something. But yeah, we're gonna see what's going on. And I'm not sure if the boys are down for good. So, that's another thing. I don't know if Zoro, Sanji, Hadruden, I don't know if they're all down for good. We might get them popping back out. So
I think they're fine. I actually don't think they're that badly damaged, if anything. I think it was just more
I
of
don't think
a
so neither.
deflection.
But are they gonna depending on whatever this plan is? Because we know Killingham and Summers are about to go do something. How are we counteracting this? Are we pulling the switcheroo and having Sanji take on Summers and Killingham take on Zoro? Or are we gonna switch it because we know Killingham has a full-on beef with Sanji now, and we know Summers is probably just gonna be violating Zoro or trying to violate Zoro. I don't think he can do it, but he's gonna try to violate Zoro. I wonder if it's gonna switch it or just have them keep following those themes. And what is this plan? Is it to get kids still, or what's going on? Because y'all said there's a plan. Emu said hurry up, we make haste, and then Summers blast off, and then we don't know what happened after that. So. There's a lot still to unbottle. I still want Hadruden to pull the sword out of Jarul's head.
Like Arthur.
Something. Quest to Camelot, man.
So let me start hitting these comments. There's a lot right now. Let's see. I like this one from Dizzy. Let me bring it up. Dizzy says, "What if Emu's body was the first Slv7n?" What you guys think about that?
It's fair. People are speculating stuff with the circuits. I don't think those wings that Emu have are actual Emu's wings. I think they're something manifested out of the Omen. Those are like Omen wings, basically, manifested from the flame. So Emu could just forge whatever Emu wants out of it. I'm not fully sold with the Emu and the connected to the Lunarian stuff all the way, but there is a lot of symbolism there. But I think it's something more than that. Maybe I think something with whatever Emu is or the devil fruit is just like a bad rendition of what a bad Lunarian would be, but I don't know for sure.
Okay. What do you think, Slev?
To be honest, Emu's obviously been in cahoots with Vegapunk, so I wouldn't put it past Emu. There's some parts that were, Seraphim or, some type of technology based off of like Vegapunk because, it's been 800 plus years, bro. Like, you probably falling apart here and there. You may need, some type of upgrade here and there, but it's a possibility. I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't. Yeah.
Okay. I want to definitely read this because I like this. Your boy says, shout out to your boys. Big clutch, man. He says, Emu is controlling Joy Boy's body so he can run his kingdom with no questions asked. I think that's a very interesting thought. I mean, I still think it's a Nefertari that's in possession. As far as I guess you could say the silhouette, I think that's what the crown is. I mean, I could be, wrong. The crown could be, a masculine type of crown. I still think it's a queen's type of crown as far as the silhouette. But I ultimately believe that whatever the silhouette actually is, I don't think it's. I know it's my agenda. I don't think it's like actually Neurona. But hey, I mean, I could be completely wrong. I just don't think it is.
Your boys, did you mean Mu is controlling Emu's body so he can run the kingdom with no questions asked? If that's what you mean, that makes a lot more sense. But I'm not sure what you mean by Emu controlling Joy Boy's body so he could run his kingdom with no questions asked.
It's probably
Joy Boy lost the war, so I'm kind of like lost. Joy Boy's out. Joy Boy's supposed to be out the picture. He's only in the picture because Luffy's back now. So I'm just a little lost.
I think he's probably most likely talking about Mu, maybe in the like some like Orochimaru type of path. Like, hey, we defeated him. We just
No,
now we
no,
just
that's
grab
why
his
I get
body.
it. That's why I'm saying Mu is running Emu's body. You get what I'm
Mm,
saying? 'Cause he's
yeah.
talking in third person all the time, and
There's
certain
a
things
difference
that
between a
we
moo and
see.
an emu.
For me, there seems to be some. From what I'm speculating, there seems to be some because things that he discovered when he was in Gunko's body, taking over Gunko, he's still pulling up here asking questions to stuff
Mhm.
he already had the answer for. So it's making me think, who are we dealing with now compared to who we were dealing with then? Are we dealing with, and then you keep, and then Emu is talking in third person and keep saying Moo. Like you sound like one of them old Houston pimps where they
Right,
keep
right.
talking in third person. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it just seemed weird. So I don't know. Like it just seemed like, for me, either the thoughts are like all scrambled and Emu don't know what's going on, or there is two different things going on here. Because it makes me think back to Kaido when Kaido kept looking at Luffy and was like, "Yo, who are you?" Because he's telling him this right in his face, but I've been fighting you all night. You don't feel it doesn't what I'm sensing right now isn't really you. And I felt like he was feeling what he was sensing was that tug of war that Oda talked about in Road to Laughtail between the devil fruit, the devil within the fruit, and the user who ate the fruit. There's always a mental tug of war between the two. So it's either this person supersede. Remember, the awakened Zoans and Impel Down, they lost the battle to the mental to the zone. That's why they can't go back to their human state. They just sitting there, they're berserkers because it's the devil fruit in control, not them. Lucci was able to control his, which is why he has the smoke ring. Luffy has his, but in the sense, I don't think Luffy ate an authentic devil fruit. I'm starting to think either if these four god fruits came from the whole thing, I'm starting to think these god fruits, I know we talked about this before, bands, but I'm starting to think these god fruits are known as the dream.
Like I've been saying.
That's what I'm starting to think. The god fruit, the four god fruits, those are the dream fruits. So what Luffy
Hmm.
ate is a dream fruit. But because of every devil fruit's possibility, you could either walk that line of a devil, or you could walk that line as a dreamer. So but that goes back into we full circle now. That goes back into Omen and Blackfire and what we think of that, like the Black Kogoromo, and
Yep.
all that type of stuff.
Yeah. Now that's I've been saying this for the longest. I truly believe is dream fruits. I just believe that not even just to bring up the statement made by Garp, because I do think Garp, in this sense, he is a Marine. He's very knowledgeable. He's fought against the top tiers. He's fought against Emu. Like, he's a very smart person. I don't want to say that his word is fact, but I do believe there is, like, I guess you could say a caveat, a little special place for, I guess you could say, these destiny type based fruits, because I'm not gonna lie to you. I think they're all related towards destiny. You know what I mean? Like, Luffy's fruit is clearly destiny. I think, Loki's fruit is truly destiny. I think maybe potentially down the line we might see it with Emu. Like, Emu might be a part of that. And I think the only one that, like, maybe might not fit that truly is maybe Shirahoshi, but her herself is destiny. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Roger went over there and they literally told him, like, yo, you're late. Like, you're I mean, not late, but you're too early. Like, you literally showed up too early. Like, Shirahoshi's not even here fully yet. So it's like, I feel like the mixture of destiny and the mixture of dreams, and then on top of that, you're telling me our main character, who for years we've been literally talking about and speculating, hey, like, it's the rubber fruit, but it doesn't really feel like a rubber fruit. You know what I mean? And then we get the awakening, and you're telling me, out of all the people that we have literally seen, and I've been stating this for the longest, you're telling me out of everybody's awakening, his awakening only happens because he dies. Like, that's just, like, really weird. You know what I mean? Like, it's really weird how that has to be the light that, starts all of this. And then when he gets into his awakening, I remember for like months and months, like when we were getting those chapters, everyone's like, "Oh, like the rubber is going to, like, heat up, and then he's going to get more properties of rubber, this and that." Like, nobody was in the ballpark of Gear 5 for the awakening. You know what I mean? We're all completely wrong. Then we get the truth, and it's like, oh yeah, he don't even got a rubber fruit. He just thinks it so much that he has it, that his imagination leads him to using abilities that have the qualities of rubber, because he just imagines it as his fruit. So you're telling me now we have a main character who his whole power is just based off of imagination and how free his mind is. So it's like making me think is like he's essentially out there just like, he is manifesting, he is thinking, but he's essentially like dreaming these things into real life, like real life reality. So it's like now we have a character who, like, the moment he comes down, he comes down and it's like everything turns like the complete dark side of Gear 5. And then he has omens, and then he's just pulling out a sword out of Hagoromo, and he's alternating this and alternating that. It's like, okay, damn, like he's kind of in the same way. And then like Nidhogg, like his whole fruit itself is like, it's like, damn, like we never really seen anything this size. And then when we see this type of dragon comes out, it's like, okay, he's not really a normal type of dragon. Like this is not normal in any sort of sense. And it's kind of ironic. Like these are not normal in the One Piece world. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, damn, it's like, okay, these fruits are definitely a different class, a different tier, or whatever separates them. And then on top of that, Emu looks at them and was like, yo, I just stabbed both of y'all. Y'all supposed to be both Domi Reversi. It doesn't work. And then we see after the ... we see you too. So there's clearly a separation from these two people compared to every other devil fruit. You know what I mean? So it's like we got to be starting crossing the realm of like these fruits got to be dream fruits or god fruits, whatever you want to state it. I personally think it's dream fruits. I think they came from a dream. Like I think the whole origin of Sun God Nika, maybe Sun God Nika wasn't even an actual being or a god, and they just dreamt of it. You know what I mean? And then boom, these came the dream fruits. So I don't know. I think it's just very interesting.
I'm there with 75% of most of what you're saying. That last part, I'm definitely there with too. The part
Yeah.
where they were dreamt. Yeah, that's if you look at the ending of Fire Force, they even said the same thing. People create gods.
Yeah, I get the volume up.
Well, people create gods. That's what they were
Yeah.
saying in Fire Force. So that whole thing with them and basically doing what people you saying the whole thing with the dream fruits. I agree with you 75% on your premise. Not entirely, because I still think there's a difference between. There's still something different even between Loki has a fruit, but Loki's fruit isn't one of the it's not one of the god fruits in the way that Luffy's fruit is a god fruit. I think Loki's fruit is more of a him being a god is more of a title passed down to someone who's just a warmonger. So the
Yeah.
god of war Elbaf, that he has the same fruit as the god of war Elbaf. That's kind of how I look at it. Whereas Luffy, they actually deemed him as a god because he actually was someone who like a power source.
Yeah.
Like what he does is actually bring forth the power source. Granted, Loki kind of does that too with the lightning. But Luffy, I think that whole thing with the music when he goes into Gear 5 and all that, there's a lot more deeper stuff there tied in with like spiritual shit and power and all that. But yeah.
Okay. So you haven't been here with us, Slv7n. I do want to ask you. This has been a main topic, especially between me and Nika. What are your thoughts on Chopper? Why can't he do what he's doing? Why is he slapping people out of Dome University? Is this a origin? Is this an origin story? Do we know who, or are we gonna figure out who Chopper really is? What's your thoughts on this?
I think it has something to do with the fruit that he ate.
Mm-hmm.
I think it has something to do with that. But I remember seeing some type of a theory out there where he's the forest god or something like that. And I don't understand how that will correlate with him being able to slap somebody out of Domi Reversi. Like I don't understand how that would help. I really think it's just his devil fruit. It's like the human fruit that he has, right?
Yeah, with no model.
Okay, right.
No model so far. He's the only one with no model attached to it.
Okay. And so if you think about it, right, that fruit that he ate, it caused him to talk, it caused him to have some type of like, thought, humanity, right? When you're flipped over in Domi Reversi, like you're basically, inhumane, you're a savage, you're, you're you out there, you wilding. And I think with the fact that I think that's just one of the qualities possibly that fruit may have, is that it helps with reverting you back to your humanity in a sense.
Okay. So do you think it's more of we strive away from more of a forest god sense, but more of like, since we have no model attached to it, but if there is the illusion of human to it, that is what's helping him revert them back to a human, is like
Yeah.
what you're kind of saying. Okay. I mean, that I have no problem with that. The reason why I don't have a problem with it is because it's logical. But the only problem that I do have with it is that logic don't really work too well in One Piece.
Tell me
That's
about it.
so it's like, I overall, if we're in a real world stance, I have no problem with that. But I'm starting to steer down more of like, forest god vibes. For the longest, I've always thought it was Emu that was a forest god because of the whole Harley text stating, devils being tamed, and I was starting to view like the Holy Knights and the Five Elders as, these demons. Especially with these whole like, the devil's fruit, I always viewed it as that. But now it's like Chopper is like, I've been saying this for the longest. I've been preaching. I know I sound like a broken record. The thing that I've been saying the most is we don't really know this crew as much as we think we do. Like
That's facts.
the strength that you want them to reach, the power-ups you want them to reach, it could be basically achieved once we just find out who they really are. You know what I mean? Like if we find out, hey, where was Nami, adopted from? What is her real true origin? Not this adoptive, story that we get when we go to Arlong. You know what I mean? What about Chopper? Why was Chopper born with this type of color nose compared to the other noses that we see with the other reindeer he grew up with? Why was he ostracized like this? You know what I mean? Did he truly eat a human fruit? You know what I mean? Because we get no model next to it. And when we do see them alluding to it, it gets completely cut off. So it's like, maybe we finally get this power up once we see who they really, really are. Let me read some of these comments again because there's a lot of people talking here. I'm not gonna lie, and I feel like I should definitely hit them. Let me see. I believe this is Trip on one of his accounts, so I'm gonna read it. It says the body is introduced as Saint Nerona Emu. That's not coincidence. The silhouette just reminds me of the outline of Royal Garbage during a procession, and now we are just seeing him with the hoodie down. Okay. So
So the
Trip,
hoodie got
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Trip, if you could elaborate in the comment, Trip, are you saying like, especially the last part of the statement, where when we're seeing him with the hoodie down, do you mean that like literally, or do you mean like just in the act of his design right now? Because you know what I mean, if you're talking about literal, like where would
In
the
the
crown
act of
be?
his design.
Yeah, in the act of his design. Because it would mean like if you're meaning literal, like if he pulls a hoodie down, it's like some sort of crown is just like taped to his hoodie type thing. Let me see what
Yeah, he
else.
definitely doesn't mean like that.
Yeah.
Here and you getting a reveal.
Okay. Let me see. Some more comments. Neon says Law's body swap ability has always bugged me. It's an easy way to stop someone from using their abilities like Frankie couldn't handle Chopper's abilities. Okay. I didn't think about that. Okay, now I can kind of see why it bugs you.
That angle has always worried me with Blackbeard. I think he may spiral out of control when he gets Evil's power. I don't know if he's going to be able to stay. I don't know if he's going to be able to control all of it, but we're going to see. I think he's going to parallel his father in a lot of ways.
Okay. And then we see from Dizzy herself. She says, "I think Cullen is pulling out the sword." That's interesting.
Fair game.
I mean, pulling out the sword. Cullen pulling out the sword. That just I can't even. That was the last person I would have thought to pull out the sword.
I think the sword's a supreme grade, and I believe you getting the supreme. That means Colin will get Conquer's Haki. That's just all that means. Because I think we're gonna see it from Hadrudin, and Hadrudin's gonna have that blade. That's gonna be his upskill, being a conqueror with the supreme grade blade. But if Colin was to get it, he could still be a conqueror too.
I mean, he does have the layup. You know what I mean? Like, if his father truly is Gabon, I don't know if we got to put him on the Maury show because he do be lying. If he is,
I think that's factual information.
I would hope so. If he lies about that being his son, all credibility goes out the way. I'm sorry.
He's only lied about the one thing, and that was killing the Holy Knights. That was it.
But that's huge.
It is huge, but yeah, you beat their ass though. I agree, but you ain't. I think the words of killing that those words shouldn't have been used by him. He went there. But besides that, I don't think he. I think his epithet. I think everything he's done is spoken for in the series. You know what I mean? It's Roger's left hand.
I hope. He does respond. Yeah, I mean he did respond. He said Trip says the crown is a self-pretentious thing as of now because he didn't have a crown in the past as we see in the flashback. He then says, "Oh wait, yeah, that was just it." Um, I mean I could see that, but I mean potentially. I mean if he is a pretentious type of person, I mean he might be, especially how he feels low key about just like the whole world and him speaking in old English. He definitely might be. He could be a very egotistical, pretentious type of person. And then we see from Straw Hat Ree, he says Gabon is the least credible source in One Piece. I truly agree. I think we should stop using him as a, I guess you could say, a statement man. I think he lost all credibility. I'm not taking anything he says as actual fact. I'm sorry. And then we see from Ree again. He says, I don't believe a word out of his mouth after he lied about the Holy Knights. Just like
Wait,
Nika
when did he
said.
lie about the Holy Knights?
For how you kill him and stuff like that. Like he was just giving us the whole tea about like, yo, when the Holy Knights pull up, this is how you defeat them. That
Okay,
shit was all out the window after we saw in these last couple of chapters.
that's true. That's true.
And then we see from Internet Hokage. Yeah, I think Cullen will be Kaido size or larger. I don't think he'll get full giant height. Ah, does he get to full giant height?
He's already big as shit as a kid. Kid, like he already usurps it. He's already big as shit as a kid. He already usurps his father in size. So I think he will get. I think he will still grow big in size. Honestly,
But
if he
how much
does, he'll
bigger
fall
though?
just short. But he's not. He doesn't have ancient giant blood in the first place. He's got regular
Yeah.
giant blood. So I think he'll. I think he'll. I think he'll. I think he still grow there. But if he can't, then shit, he's just gonna have a lot of gusto and some Kuma shit. But he's
Yeah.
already pretty big as a kid. So I think that's a safe bet to say, like he's already bigger than a lot of people as a kid. Like Kuma was still smaller than Colin. You get what I'm saying? Like, Colin as a
How old
kid-
is he in giant years?
I can't remember, but the kid is big as shit.
Cause I feel like I'm trying to think. Let me look it up real quick. I feel like he's relatively like, is he not younger than every of like all the other kids?
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out how that even happened.
Well, how he made the baby?
How
Hey, I
did that
mean, he might have used Conqueror's hockey during that. I don't know. Let me see how old is Colin. Unless someone tells me. Oh, Rom says it. Colin is, or Hakage says Colin is 20 in giant years. Okay,
Okay.
so that's not. Yeah, Rom says he's 20 human years, but giant years he's 1 to 3 human years. I mean,
I'm about
that's
to say,
that's
no, he's
mad
20
young.
He's 20 in human years, I think. But
Yeah, but
I'm confused. I'm about to say, I don't think it's like that for him. Hold on.
I thought it was like, I don't want to say like, dog and human years, but I thought there was like I thought
A
human
difference?
years was more and then like giant years are less. Right?
Loki is 21 in human years. Like I mean in giant years,
Yeah.
he's 21 years old. But in human years, he's much older. In
How
human
old?
years, Colin is 20.
Yeah.
But for a giant, that makes him not 20. He'd be younger than that.
Okay.
He'd be, what? Divide 20 by 3.
36, 9, 12, 15, 18. So that's like, you're going to get a decimal point with it. It's like
He'd be
6.5.
that many years.
Yeah, 6 or
that
7.
many years plus months then.
Okay. I mean, yeah, he could then, if that's his age, I would definitely could see him being bigger than Kaido.
That's what I'm saying. He's gonna be bigger than Kaido. Like Kaido, them guys are like they little niggas. I mean,
Well, wait, isn't he the same? Yeah, I'm trying to remember heights now. I feel like a casual by saying this. Isn't Kaido just in regular hybrid or just his regular form? Isn't he just the same height as Big Mom?
yeah.
Yeah, they're relatively the same, right? Yeah. Okay, I was trying to remember. Yeah. You are right. Yeah.
Druden's still bigger than them, but they like mini giants. You feel me?
I,
They're
I don't.
actually they're around the same size, probably height wise,
Hmm.
as the dude that Sabo, the vice admiral that Sabo loaded in Dressrosa, because that guy's part giant. That vice
Oh,
admiral is part giant.
I know exactly who you're talking about. I can't remember his name. I know who you're talking about though.
Vice
Nonetheless,
Admiral Bastille. That's
yeah,
Admiral
Bastille,
Bastille.
Bastille.
Just came out.
Yeah, now I remember. So I continue on with this conversation with 1182 predictions because I do want to kind of get into that because I feel like we're going to get a lot of information um, coming through soon. I do want to ask for
Wait,
both you
how long were you
guys.
trying to push the stream?
That's you can't really. I'll probably say like an hour and a half.
Okay.
Is that cool with you?
No, that's fine. I didn't
Yeah.
know what the game plan was, so I was asking.
Oh no, I just wanted to get like a couple more questions out the way because I do definitely want to like get you guys' gauge before we head into 1182 because I feel like I don't know for me, I like to just kind of like save these type of like type of like memories, I guess you could say, and see how right or wrong we were in the future. Um, but yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. So for 1182, do you think one? Do you think do you think Loki gets in any sort of way like do you think now that he's getting weaker and weaker through his health, do you think it's there's a reattempt for Domi? And then two, do you think there's a possibility that maybe whoever is down for the count right now, maybe that's Emu's next targets to try to Domi Reversi?
Oh, wait. I don't
No?
think so. I don't think so.
Mm, okay. So we think we're just no more Domi Reversis going on for right now. Not saying for the future, but just right now while Emu's here.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's too caught up. They too caught up on what's going on right now. And they're trying to figure out where's Harold.
Mm,
They in battle mode, bro.
Yeah.
I actually want to just I want to see more of the battle just going, at least for another chapter
okay.
between Loki and Emu. I don't want it to just be one chapter. He did good. I want him to. We still ain't even see Hybrid from him, and he's impressive already.
Yeah. So do we think Elbaf is gone after we leave here?
I think the tree comes down.
Tree comes down?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Maybe. I don't know. Y'all giving that tree. Y'all not giving that tree enough credit. That's a strong tree.
Yeah, but the weakness of Elbaf is fire and lightning, and we got somebody pulled up with black flames. We don't even know what's going on completely with that. And then Loki, he out here shooting Thorheim straight at the tree. Like, thank God Emu did whatever Emu did, because who knows what would happen to the tree after getting blitzed with a
Right.
Thorheim. So, like, for me, like, the actual weaknesses about the tree, and if you look at the last episode that happened, a lot of the hints got something to do with what's going on now. Like, Zoro's like God, God or like a god or a devil. Zoro's over here saying the same thing that Loki's even questioning right now.
Yeah.
He's like, you sound like a devil, and then that's exactly what Zoro said last episode. You sound like a devil. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then on top of that, they said, hey, if that tree goes down, this whole island's gonna be in trouble.
Yeah.
And that's what's going on inside that small little plaza thing that little mock house that they were just trapped that they just bust out of in the last episode.
Yeah.
The tree was on fire. They had to worry about the tree. We've been getting
Right.
this whole time in Elbaf. They keep talking about lightning and fire in the tree, or lightning in the tree. What they had to do in the past because this happened with lightning and it caused massive fires with the tree. So who knows, man? I mean, something big might happen. I don't know, but hey, they keep doing hints with this goddamn tree and pointing at the plot direction. I don't know.
I
I'll
mean,
be heartbroken if that tree goes down.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think Elbaf goes away, man. I think it's the next Lucia victim, man. I honestly, I'm just thinking more of a world building sense. I don't want to say it like Luffy's a general or like a captain, but I think there's going to have to be some sort of event that has to start leading to everybody kind of let's group all of Luffy's people that he like freed, helped, that would like join his fleet, those people who will ride and die with him, and then kind of set up the whole final war. Because I feel like people are forgetting that like as much as we will get the final war, it's also important as well for the lead up for that. Because like I feel like these nations are going to be a part of it no matter what, regardless of what side you're on. Like if you're on the side of Marines, or if you're on the side of Pirates, or if you're just on the side of Luffy, there has to be some sort of build up for these, I guess you could say, these races to all kind of come together. Like I really feel like, I mean, as much as we've seen it throughout the story, like we see this fishman, I guess you could say, racism that we see from other characters. We see these people hating on, but not even just that. Just look at the Lunarians. They just kind of got wiped off the map. And then like King, like he himself, like he kind of just has this prejudice towards other people. We see Kaido, he himself, like, you know, what happened with Oni Kingdom. And then we see what's going on with the Giants. Like, I don't know, it kind of leads me to believe like we might go down that path where, you know, we kind of just group everybody together and like they all have Luffy in connection. So they all are willing to fight because they know, you know, for the greater good, Luffy is the one that can help them ultimately achieve whatever they're trying to achieve. Um, so I think it kind of just makes sense for me. Just knowing how Oda kind of goes about things, like, hey, I know I've been teasing you guys about the Heaven Realm. Don't worry, the Heaven Realm will be destroyed, but Biblo will come by later because he's the oldest living thing there and will tell us what goes on in the Heaven Realm. And then we know that gives us an excuse to kind of just destroy Elbaf. And then the Giants will now, because, you know, people are forgetting, Jarul essentially declared war. Like he essentially did that with the Giants. They kind of rallied with him. So it's like, it kind of would make sense now. Like if Elbaf gets destroyed, you kind of should put the Giants on sea now. You know what I mean? Like we should have nothing but just like braids and just clumps of just straight ships just heading out to sea, trying to attack. Maybe they might link up with Dragon, you know what I mean, etc., etc. Like I think they should go on sea. I think that's the most smartest thing. Huh?
I wouldn't want them on sea. I would want that if we destroyed Elbaf, I still want the Heaven Realm to stay the Heaven Realm. Because they're up there with island clouds, like white. They're up there in the if they're for where it looks like with the Heaven Realm, it should be where the white sea is.
Yeah.
So if we need to evacuate, we should send everybody up. That's what we should do. That's how we get linked back to Skypiea. Bonnie even gets to continue her dream that way. We get noted. We can finally get to see the point of High West, all that other shit.
Yeah.
So, you know, I feel like, you know, it should be, you know, it should just be at that point now where, boom, we got to get this stuff to tie back in. So how do we get the Skypeans back involved? Well, we go to Skypiea, but through another way. We knew from a while, besides the knockup stream, we knew of another way. It's about time to get introduced to that. They're literally up there. Even if the tree comes down, they're still up with the white sea. So even if we get boats or we're doing whatever the case may be, I don't know how. I just want us up there. I want to see how this big ass tree goes all the way up. Let's see. We still should find out what's all the way up there. Why did Biblo take everything and go up there? I still think we could get something. I don't know how it's gonna work.
You want us to go on some Jack and the Beanstalk type of adventure, huh? Okay.
No, that's been it, bro. That's if you think about it, they even said it like this. I think they noted that in Skypiea, like whatever that beanstalk is, not even the big. That's not even a full. The beanstalk is the baby Adam tree. Bro. You know what I'm saying? So we should get that. Like, we should get that. I wouldn't be surprised if you take off, you cut. I wouldn't be surprised if One Piece's physics are so crazy. We can cut off the top of the tree, and the top of the tree will stay floating because it's up there with white clouds, white sea clouds holding it up.
Yeah,
where we lose the bottom part of the tree. I can see that happening. Yo, Zoro, cut that shit. What? I'm not saying Zoro gonna get a feat like that now, but I wouldn't be surprised if Oda pulled that out of that. So you know what I mean? You never know what's gonna happen with One Piece and the way Oda thinks about things. But I do know we got Wiper and cover stories. We got this, that, and the third. Vegapunk did his message. We kept going to Skypiea. Punk Records was literally destroyed, and they went to the clouds. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't be surprised if that's how we get the tie-in back with that. Plus, I think Dragon got his fruit from some type of Sky Island adventure. So I would love to just get more on Sky Island lore. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, Slv7n, how do you feel about all this lore? How do you feel about these realms? How do you feel about the Harley?
I feel like yes, I agree with Captain Nika. Like we're definitely going back up. Like
Mm-hmm.
we definitely going back up.
Mm.
I have like a moon theory, all types of stuff. So we definitely gotta go back up. But I going to speaking on like, what we think may happen in chapter 1182, it may not, that may not happen in chapter 1182, but I feel like, after what we see what happens with Emu, we may get some more information about Elbaf, about the heaven realm, or
Yeah.
we may have to face, whatever aftermath that, Loki and Emu do to the tree. We may have to deal with something along the lines where we have to like, all right, we got to get this tree down and figure out another way to get up to the heaven realms. But yeah, I agree. That's very important. We're definitely gonna have to dive into that. I don't think Otis
Mm.
was hanging with that, and he's
Mm.
moving so fast. Like you say, he's kind of moving a little fast when it comes to Elbaf's story in a sense,
Mm-hmm.
but not the lore. Just like what's going on right now, he's moving like he's like because I did not expect Emu to pop up. Like I really didn't. So
Mm.
yeah, I think we're getting there.
So I did hear you say for like a split second. You don't have to go too deep into it. So me and Nika have been saying for a while that we wholeheartedly believe, and we have the evidence. If anybody in the comments wants to challenge us, we do strongly believe that we will be going into space to the moon. Are you along that side, that same side?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
So is it because of an L?
No, but it's because of Skypiea. It's
Okay.
because of Skypiea.
So do you think it's this is how I gauge it. Do you think it's so for me personally, I think it's ultimately Luffy's dream to go to space. I think that's the reason why when we get to see the panels of like not the anime, the panels when he explains the dream to the crewmates, I think it's very purposefully that we see a reaction from the ship. You know what I mean? So I think like that it was like in my own opinion, is like the ship was like the Sunny was like, yo, like how the hell are we gonna go up to space? Like, how
Uh-huh.
am I gonna get us to space? You know what I mean? Like that type of reaction. So I think that's like some of this, like, caveats to it. And then on top of that, it's like, the cover story is kind of like, okay, the moon is important. You know what I mean? Like it has importance, it has relevance to it. So I wanted to ask you, so do you think it's more of do you think it's Luffy's dream to get up to the moon as well? Or do you think it's like the story, Skypiea, kind of the theme, the pattern, the flow? It's like, okay, we're bound to go to space.
So you know how they got, different routes to the One Piece,
Yeah.
right? Everyone has a different route. And I think with Luffy's, his route is unorthodox. Like his
Yep.
route to the One Piece is going to be unorthodox. I think that the moon might be a stop for
Mm-hmm.
him to the One Piece. Like it might be a stop for him to get to the One Piece. I think. I don't necessarily think that it's like, yes, it's important to the story because we're going to learn something there. You know what I mean? We're going to learn. Obviously, we learn something where every time we get to an island, but we're going to learn something detrimental there. So yes, I feel like it's going to be important to the story, but I don't think. I don't think we're going to get like a huge clash there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or we have to liberate anybody there. I just think it's a stop. Like it may be along with Luffy's dream. It may be along with that, but I think it might be a
Mm.
stop along to the One Piece for him.
See, like I don't want to get too deep into it. I love the discussion of it because I get real passionate about it. I also think it's very coincidental or purposefully that when he explains the dream, he's literally looking to the space, like he's literally looking to the sky, and it's
Okay.
like it kind of just fits the whole theme. It's like, yo, he wants the greatest adventure. Like he literally says, even if you don't take the movies as serious, he literally destroys the log pose to get to literally Laughtail because he's like, yo, it's gonna ruin the adventure essentially. Like he's like, I don't want no cheat code. I don't want to know how to get there. Like he's
Facts.
all about literally like what you said, word for word. It's an unorthodox journey. So it's like to me, it's like, okay, if we get to space, there has to be something that alludes to it. And then on top of that, it's like the Maxim itself is literally in the mural. So like at some sort of point, even if it's not Enel, the Maxim is still the key to getting to the moon. So it's going to come back down eventually. You know what I
Right.
mean? So it's like, I think it's just kind of bound to happen. And plus, it's like, if we get to space, it's like, that's like, to me, in my personal opinion, I think that just like crosses a whole new threshold of like, okay, like we can really just go anywhere we want. And like Frankie's like ultimate dream is like, it's actually legitimate because he just cares about like the ship being able to survive to get to the end. But yeah, I think I think we're definitely on the same page amongst like all three of us. Um, how do you guys feel about, I guess you could say, or actually, let me just ask you guys your final takes. What do you guys have anything you guys want to say? Predictions, anything to leave off with before we get this next chapter?
Want me to go first, nigga? Or you go?
No, I'm just gonna say, I gave most of my thoughts on the other stuff, but going back to what you were just saying for that last conversation about the moon and stuff, we still got all this planetary stuff in the mural that no one talks about.
Mm-hmm.
One, and then two, I'd like to say like I do feel like if we don't go to the moon in this cycle, two pieces of thing. I do want people to understand that. A lot of people don't believe it is, but two pieces of things. That's a joke that Oda made, and if Oda makes the joke, I take it seriously. So that's just me. He said I'm not about to have Luffy beat the guy with a big punch, and the guy defeated Kaido with a big punch. So,
But it was a bigger punch.
oh, he said he literally like this. The context doesn't change. It's still a big fist. So, and he said I can't just have Luffy defeat the guy with a really big punch, like, and then he had Kaido get defeated with a really big punch. So when I
Yeah.
hear that, and then he's like, "Oh, dang, I like. I wonder if I'll ever. Maybe I'll do something like a 2-piece." Yeah, all right, bet. Say that. Locked in. Say that. I'm with you, gang. Say that. So that's just me, bro. Like, hey, Nami used Conqueror's haki on the ship. Everybody told me it was a gag. Nami cooked this nigga road last episode. I saw red lightning. I'm not hearing nothing, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not hearing nothing. Like, I'm on agenda piece hard right now. Like all my agendas is eating. I'm not. Shout outs to Ree, but I'm not hearing. I'm completely on my off. I'm high off my head cannon right now. I'm not gonna lie at all.
And you, Slav?
Well, first and foremost, guys, I want to thank you guys for welcoming me on here to talk about my favorite show in the whole entire world. As you guys can see, like it's like the most. But final thoughts on on what we spoke about today is 1181 is a lot deeper if you give it a little bit more reads. Like it's a lot deeper than what you think it than what at first in the surface. And as far as Emu, it's like she they coming on full force. It's like, all right, you what got you so upset that you want to show up in person now? You know what I mean? Like what's really going on? Like what really got you frustrated that you really pulled up on Elbaf and you really on some, because Luffy been wilding
Usopp
for a
rage
hot
bait.
minute now. What's that?
Usopp rage bait.
Facts though. Usopp did rage bait Emu, yo. It's all Usopp's fault, but I mean, we got some peak stuff. So I'm just excited to see what's gonna happen. I really agree with you guys. I don't think Sanji and Luffy is down. I'm sorry, Sanji and Zoro is down. I don't think they're down. I just think they got quick, like blast real quick. Like, okay, we was not ready for that, but I don't think they're down. And I don't think this fight is nowhere near done.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. So I just want to say to you guys, everybody is watching, thank you guys for tuning in. And don't worry, this is not going to be the last time you guys see Slev. That's definitely a promise. I just want to reiterate, want to say, hopefully next week or the times, scheduling for leaks, especially with the brief spoilers and full summaries. Hopefully all that stuff gets fixed. Hopefully we, get back on schedule. And also on top of that, I do want to say, I don't want to say too much of it because we need a little bit more confirmation, but be on the lookout for some interviews that potentially could be coming up, lined up in the next couple of weeks. not just for us, but just also with Ree. He should have some great things in store as we do. And I just want to say, you guys, thank you guys again. Thank you for tuning in. Please like the video. Please subscribe. And if you are subscribed, you know, just try to take your time. Just your, you know, well, not take your time, but just try to, you know, map out some time just to, you know, tune in with us on Thursdays for the trivia, on the Wednesdays for the spoilers, and on the Mondays for Ree's live reaction. The whole gang is here. But nonetheless, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys on the next time.
Bye, guys.